Hey guys, welcome to the first video of urban informatics and how to survive it. So in this video we're going to be using Veras plugin to create AI renders. So the first concept that we have to look at is actually downloading the program. So if we go to Google, just type up Veras AI rendering program and click on Evolve Lab. You can download it here. Of course I've already got it downloaded, so I won't need to click Windows Download. So now after you've downloaded it, you'd have to get the viewports ready, and this is more important than you may think. So if we go to this file here, which is just the massing of our site, in your view here it's called render 3, you'd want to, of course, it'd be perspective, and you want to zoom into where you want your actual render to take place. So what we might do is we'll go over here, maybe do the entrance, and so once we get the angle that we like, we can zoom in, change our lens length, maybe even to 100, which will zoom closer, or 20. We can go to set view, click this right next to the camera, the car, save view by name, and name it entry maybe, underscore render, click enter. So now you have this view saved. So what you want to do next for Veras is click plus down here, new layout, you can name this entry, and you want to make it 768 by 768 because that's the size of the Veras renders. So once this is here, you would drag this to each corner to make sure it's fully in its screen. You double click on this box so you can move around, set view, and you pick it. Now of course it's in wireframe because that's default, so you can change the shader now. And over here, this is now your box. Now if you click on it and move it around, you'll mess it up. So what you have to do to make sure you don't actually mess anything up is go just over to click off it, click this line, and make sure it's locked. And that way you can't move it, but you can still select things. The next step is now to set the materials and form. So if I show you this model had none. I've started to add some of the form to the buildings, not necessarily super detailed, but more where I want things like windows here, windows down here, an entrance, and then lastly you can see that I've actually started populating the whole site, and now I have it on a rendered view. So I've got colors and materials, some brickwork here, some people, and some trees. And I've already made an entry viewport, of course, that I didn't lock. So now I can just go back of view. Anyway, this should be set view entry, and it should snap us right into position. Now the reason why that moved is because now I've got to click this and make sure that it's locked. Perfect. So now we can launch Veras. So as this is loading, we're now doing the sliders. So we've got our, this will change a lot as you add more stuff in. You want to make sure that you click off this white background and onto the actual viewport, and when you refresh it, it will go closer. Now we don't want these grey borders, so you're going to click zoom window and make sure you zoom around this box here, and this will snap it into place. So if we refresh, it takes the whole rendering port, and this is the actual where the renders are done in this little view here. So I can change this view, but the free version you can't, and can't either on the trial. So if we just give this a crack, you'll see that it kind of picks up the green and maybe some of the glass areas because it's transparent, but it doesn't really have a focus. So if I was to add snow in, you can see that, well, now it will add snow everywhere, which is, I think, pretty cool. And then of course another way to look at this is if you have style strength, you can make this more biased to the prompt and less biased. So if I was to turn this to 100, it would, well, probably should put something there, but you can see it takes away from the actual image's aesthetic, so maybe the green doesn't get picked up. And then if you change the creativity strength, this will actually, if you highlight over it, you'll see this affects the the image, so how creative it is with the AI. So this is below 50, that blue bar, so it's probably going to be green, grey, blue, very, very like our image here, and artistically the same. But if you put this to 100, you can see in these past examples, it's creative and makes some high definition renders. Of course, this is up to what style you like. So then, lastly, we can start finalizing renders, and that's done with the sliders and what we think is necessary, adding these turbo, nature, and atmospheric sliders too. This will add as much nature as possible, and this will add some fog and some depth into the scene, maybe some stuff out of focus. So you can see it's foggy, and of course this is now hedges here, even though they're glass shop fronts. So if I quickly go down here, this is some viewport descriptive scene that I prepared earlier. If we paste that in here, let's keep on turbo nature and make the style strength more towards the prompt. So we make that 60, and I think 80 is a nice between 70 and 85 is quite nice to get still what you want. You see here now we have these apartment buildings, a green area, people riding through. There's not really any shops here, but it's definitely a lot closer to what we actually have modelled than something like this or like this. So I can probably finish the video up around here and get some final renders, which is last on our thing. So maybe I'll render 4 at once, which you can't do unless you buy the license. But you can see if I quickly go to my finals, you can maybe come up with something like this. The glass, the people walking around. This was, as you can see, was taken from a very similar viewport. Actually, this exact one that we ended up picking out looks like this. Very similar to this viewport. Now these renders are done. It's quite nice. It's also quite nice.